and go to the stream here. So you want to start with identifying that audience and make sure that you do a good job of identifying your demographics. You want to make sure you understand the age, the gender, the location, if that's important to you, their interests, their positions, all of the different factors that really go into the message that you're trying to create. Because if you're creating it to a particular audience, you want to make sure that they're really going to want to hear what you have to say. So define your audience is really the starting point. The next thing you want to do is define your voice. And what do I mean by voice? Well, by voice, I'm talking about how you communicate with your audience. What are the things that what is the method that you use to communicate with them? Do you use are you a happy, friendly type of person that communicates? Are you fun loving? Are you serious? Are you all business? Are you casual? Are you sarcastic? That the sarcastic one was added for one person on this webinar particularly, because I know that's the way he likes to communicate. So, but what you're trying to do is, you don't want to be something you're not when you're trying to create your message on Instagram or any of the social media platforms. People need to know who you are. They need to know what you say. They need to know who they're dealing with. And that's what's so important about the voice, making sure that if they talk to you in person, or they talk to you, or they watch your social media sites, the same message comes through. So you want to, and that message may be different for different audiences. I mean, if you're dealing with business owners, maybe you're dealing with, doctors, professionals, lawyers that deal in, strictly in depth, and they're not going to vary from their staunch post, and you need to be a little more concerned about how you talk to them. Whereas if it's if you're dealing with any other business that you might do, that's they're casual, they're less rigid, then talk to them in the way they like to be talked to. I used an example, but many years ago, I was doing just doing a sales job for a company that sold advertising to grocery stores. You've seen they used to have these big billboards up in the grocery stores. Now they have on the carts, similar type of thing. But we called to set appointments, and I was a couple of guys working out of my house. So I had a office and area where we could work together, and I could set an appointment 90% of the time. One of the guys in there that was with me could not set an appointment to save his life. And so I would listen to him, and I started watching the way he talked to people. And it's sort of like, hi, my name is, Bill, and I'm with, this, and would like to talk to you a minute about click, and they would hang up. So he wasn't creating any kind of authority, but he also wasn't listening to the way the client was talking either. So in other words, if you listen, if you're the person you're talking to and communicating with is, like I said, is talking fast or slower, you kind of mirror and match. Well, you can do the same thing with your social media sites. So keep that in mind as you define your voice. You build more rapport by writing in the voice your audience likes to hear. So that's really what you're trying to do, is we're just trying to build that rapport with our audience. The magic of the message. What you want to do is you have to create a message that people want to hear. Quit thinking about sales, quit thinking about lead generation, quit thinking about all of those things that we're so concerned with, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here because we want to know how we can get more business by utilizing Instagram. That's why you're here. I understand that. But that being said, if you have, if you are talking about sales, 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 people cut you off. They'll drop you in a heartbeat. As opposed to, in this particular case, what you want to do is you want to come up with messages that are important, value, and that you're actually giving them something in return. So think about this. Interview for your job. Okay. This is an exercise I'd like for you to try. I want you to interview for your job. Now, take this down, write it down, do whatever you want to do, however that works. But you're not creating a resume. You're not listing all the things, a CV where you list everything you've done. That's not what I'm talking about when I talk about interview for your job. What I'm talking about is you actually create a list of accomplishments, results, things that you offer, things that you provide, where people are going to go, that's the person I want to work with. That's what we're trying to achieve here. So when I say interview, make sure you have everything that you do for your clients, for your customers, and how you're different. This is what we're trying to do. Make a list of what you do really very well. And what are the things that you are excelling at with your customers? I know we have a few realtors on the webinar today, and there's only 6,000 of you to compete with. So how do you compete with those? What do you do differently? And it takes some thought and it takes some creativity, but each of you have a special talent, a special gift that you can bring. And when you can expose that, when you can utilize that to develop your message, that's where you're going to get the most benefit. So think about what you do really well. What makes you different? I mean, it's hard. I do this all the time with my clients, and they go, well, I'm just like everybody else. I sell printing, or I do credit card processing, or I do, I do real estate. You don't. You have your own special gifts that you bring, and the way you go beyond the ordinary with what's expected. That's what you're trying to do, and that's what the message needs to be. Use success stories. That's a great thing that you can do in your message. How you've helped your clients or customers, what you've done to save them money, to make their life easier, to grow their business, to enhance their life. Those are the success stories that we want to share, because that's what we're trying to, again, that's what gets people to go, that's what I want. I want that. That's exactly what I want for my business or myself. And that's what I want people to do, is to help me. So build a theme then around those success stories, around that interview, around the things you do well. So create a series of posts that are, every week you're sharing a success story. Every week you share an episode of your theme of who you are, what you do. Utilize the stories, the storytelling aspect, to let people know your expertise and what you're so good at and why they want to work with you. So the message is critical. If you don't get a message that's engaging, people are just going to click off and they're not going to pay attention. It's just like, oh yeah, it's another message from Gary. Okay, ho hum. There's nothing to read there. Make yourself different. One of the things that I recommend is build an image of your an image inventory. Find photos that would be catchy, eye appealing, fun. Maybe it's, look for photo ops as you're out. I mean, you've got your camera with you, right? We never leave home without our phone attached. So look for opportunities and take pictures as you go. You may not need them right now. You might want to use them later, but looking for those photo opportunities so that when you get ready to create a post, you don't have to go out and start searching for it. You just simply pull it up, add some captioning to it, and you're ready to go. Create an album on your phone of those pictures or on your desktop. With Instagram, most of your posts are going to be done from your phone, but there is a new option utilizing the the Facebook Creator Studio, which also integrates with Instagram, that lets you do post from your desktop. And that is really cool. And that has helped a lot because now you can schedule, you can take the time if you got a graphic program on your computer. And a lot of times it's much easier to create and edit graphics on your computer than it is on the phone. So if you do that, then you've got a way to automatically pull that in. And so that's, again, a great resource for you from an image. Experiment with the creative elements in Instagram. Instagram has got a ton of creative features, from filters that you can put on the image to drawing elements for Facebook, for Instagram stories. You can draw on the screen. You can create a lot of different graphic elements there. But Instagram is a graphic medium. So you're not going to craft a nice long post talking about how great you did. You're going to tell your message in a story in a visual format. So that's why we need to be thinking about how we put that together, and having enough photos that we can create is one of the key components to that. So my dad had a beautiful baritone singing voice, and that's exactly how my mother and dad met. She went to a church singing, and he was singing, and she stuck around and hunted him down afterwards. So, but one of the songs he always loved to sing was "How Great Thou Art," and I can still hear him singing that. So to me, it's a beautiful song, but I didn't get his singing voice, unfortunately. So I got my mother's, which is more like a joyful noise. That's pretty much what I do. But thinking about this kind of came to mind about when you talk about creating your message. Social proof is one of the biggest things that you can achieve. If you can generate a strong social proof, you're going to harness the power of influencers, and you're going to get people to take notice of you. Whereas if you're standing up going, wow, come in, come see me, I'm the greatest realtor. Come see me, I have the greatest yoga studio in town, and you need to be here, and we do great things, which you do, I know. But if somebody else is saying that, it's so much more powerful. So what we want to do is we really want to tap into that social proof that other people can provide. It helps perspectives and people that are going to maybe following you and looking to whether to do business with you and convert into a client. It helps them overcome uncertainties. It creates some similarities. We want to be like everybody else. Most of us don't want to be, the Lone Ranger. We want to be like everybody else. We want to be like Mike, we want to not stand out in the crowd, but be a part of it. So social proof tells people that, well, if all of these people have used Gary and, and say he's got 50 good 5-star reviews, then I feel pretty confident that he's the one I want to go with. And it looks like there's businesses here that are like mine that would that I could benefit from him. Again, that's what we're trying to achieve, is that similarity and the be like others. So testimonials are critical to that. 2 out of 3 people say that they are more likely to buy after reading a testimonial. So if you stand up and shout something, it's bragging. If I say something about you, about your business, it's social proof. 95% of people say reviews influence their decisions. So we want to try to get that social proof. But what you really want to do in Instagram is you want to get people to overlapping and recognizing you in an Instagram. We want to utilize partners like other businesses and let them say how great you are. What you want to do is get folks that you work with on a regular basis. Clients are great. Businesses that you work with or utilize their service are awesome for that. Strategic partners like networking groups and referral groups. That's an incredible source. We want to get people to post content that tags you and says, hey, I had Gary design my website and he did a fabulous job and I highly recommend 800 Business Ninja Marketing. That's golden. But we don't think about that. I mean, it's just, we're so busy focusing on our business where we would more than gladly do that for each other, for other businesses that we work with, but we just don't think about it. And so we need to be asking, trying to build those partnerships, looking for ways that you can create those partnerships and get more people, write reviews for each other, write testimonials, highlight, showcase. Good example is a realtor. You got a HVAC guy out there doing a home inspection and you use them and you trust them. And, why not post on his Instagram page, hey, Sam at Acme HVAC does a fabulous job. And if you need anything or any service on your AC unit or heater, he's the guy to go to. Well, Sam, if he's any worth his salt, is going to see that because you tagged him in a post, and he's going to then reciprocate and go, wow, thank you. Thank you for recognizing me. And I really appreciate the job. And thank you for giving me your trust as a realtor, for putting your trust in me. So thinking about this is incredible. This is powerful stuff. Recognize other businesses, utilize this opportunity to provide them recognition. And remember, it's not about you, it's about them. And the more you give, the more you offer, the more you share, the more they feel like they need to reciprocate with you. So the recognition side of things is an important piece. How do we generate engagement? This is the $64,000 question. If you can generate engagement, if you can get people to responding to your post, to looking for your post, to sharing your post, you're going to go a long way in building followers and building your brand on Instagram. Start with consistency over frequency. If you post on Instagram once every time you think about it, and that may be, 4 times this week, and then you may not post again for 6 weeks. That's not as effective as posting on a regular basis. Every week you want to post at least once. Some people may want to post 5 times. The sweet spot, I think, is probably a couple of times a week on Instagram in the newsfeed. Now, stories is different. Stories only live for 24 hours. So you might use a formula, something like this. So you do in your Instagram, in your main feed of Instagram, you post once or twice a week, part of your story, like we talked about earlier, success stories, how you've helped, those types of things, and they live forever in the newsfeed. But then use the stories on a regular basis, daily or a couple of times a week, to supplement that. So you could either tease the story, the main feed item. You could say, hey, just dropped another episode of my success stories series, so go check it out. Or it can be a day in the life. Here's what I did today. Here's what I'm working on today. I'm excited about a new webinar series I'm working on. Those types of things. That's what the story. That's how you can use stories to boost engagement. You want to provide value and create content that's worthy of people sharing. How do you expect anybody to engage and share your content if it's not worth sharing? That's just the way it is. Ask questions. So tell me your challenges. What's the biggest challenge that you have to your business? And then you ask questions, and you can do that through polls and things of that nature, and get that feedback that people, and you get them to engaging with you. What do you want people to know about your business? Or what are some common mistakes people make about your business? Utilize those types of things, and you're educating, but you're also providing your expertise. And reply to every comment. Instagram is a dinner party, all right, or a social gathering. And you're standing around talking, and somebody makes a comment about something you said, and you look at them with a blank stare. and just stare. Well, that's kind of rude, right? But it's also not engaging. What you're going to do, you're not going to do that. You're going to answer back. Hey, yes, yeah, thanks. I agree with that. I loved I love what you said about. Thanks. I appreciate you, sharing that. Reply to every comment. It's just good business, and it's good practice. One of the easiest way to keep you on track is to create a content calendar. And so with this content calendar, what this is going to do is force you into that consistency. So you're going to have okay, here's my topics. Here's my interview, the things I do well. Now I want to build a story around those things, each one of those topics. And so when you create that, now you put them into a calendar and you go, okay, so Monday and Thursday are my Instagram days to post. Maybe Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday. I usually try to stay away from Mondays. They can get a little clouded and crowded that day. So, but up to you. What you have to do is once you post, you want to make sure that you watch your audience and engagement and see what days and what times worked best for you. So experiment with it in the beginning and post various times, various places. Use your insights. And by the way, I guess, and I should mention, all of you should have a business Instagram page, not a personal. Or if you still want your personal, you can have that, but you want separate. You can have two accounts, but you want the business Instagram page first and foremost, because that gives you the analytics that help you analyze this type of stuff. It also gives you the ability to put a call to action button on there. So you can say, contact me, email me, text me, call me, whatever it might be, direct messaging. So that's one of the other things that you should definitely do. So when you have that calendar, then that keeps you on track, and you can actually, using the Creative Studio, Facebook Creator Studio, you can actually schedule your post up to 6 months out. So you can build that content, create it, take a day or two, create that content that you think is worthwhile, find the right images, the right photos, share it, and you're good to go for 6 months, other than just monitoring and engaging as people content. A content calendar is so important to keep you on track. That's one of the biggest things that you can do, or one of the best things you can do to help you keep yourself on track. If anybody has any questions, feel free to pop those in the chat box right now. I do want to mention one more thing about standing out in the crowd, standing out. Think about your message. Think about being creative. What would you say about yourself? Okay, so many of us run into in our bios, we look at the bio and it says, I'm a web designer and I do social media and I've been doing it for 20 years. Ho hum, who cares? No big deal. But your message should be more like, how do you help your clients? So for me, for example, here's a statement that I wrote for my business. For over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of small businesses. Okay, notice I've identified my target market, small businesses, develop an effective and efficient digital marketing presence that improves their brand visibility, increases traffic to their door, and converts browsers into buyers. Now, I probably could have added in there website design, so search engine optimization, social media marketing, coaching, and training. But the main idea I want to get is, I help small businesses create an effective and efficient digital presence. I help drive traffic to their door, and I help convert browsers into buyers. Who doesn't want that? I mean, that's what we're all looking for, right? We're all looking to increase our traffic and get more people to our door. So your message should be built around that type of statement. It should be built around the benefit that you provide. It should be built around, and your story should be built around those, telling that story of your expertise level. it can be in the form of an Instagram story, and you're going to meet with a client, or you're out at a for realtors. So say, for example, you're doing a listing presentation, and there's a neat little coffee shop close by, and you sit down at the coffee shop and have a cup of coffee while you're working on your stuff, and you go, hey, this is, I just stopped in this little coffee shop. I'm working in the neighborhood, trying to work with a client. I have a new home listing that I'm going to be doing in this neighborhood, and I just love this little coffee shop. It's such a quaint little place. When you tag the coffee shop and you share that to your Instagram feed, and if they're paying attention, they're going to thank you for that and repost it. And what did you do? You told them you're a realtor because you told them you're doing a listing presentation, but you did it subtly. You weren't in their face. You weren't going, hey, I'm at the coffee shop and doing a listing presentation in real estate, and anybody around here that needs a realtor, I'm here to help you. That's salesy, spammy, not genuine. It's not what you want to do. So we have to be cautious, but we want to get our message out there, but we want to do it in such a way that we tell the story about us and we tell the success stories that we've had. So that's the Instagram idea, some of the ideas and tips that I have for Instagram for you today. Like I said, if you have questions, I am recording this, so it will be available for a replay probably later this afternoon. If you need help with anything, most of you know how to get in touch with me, but I do personalized coaching, one-on-one training. I do training and coaching on website design, search engine optimization, social media marketing, coaching and training. And my websites are here. There's my phone and email. So feel free to reach out to me if you have specific questions. I'm more than happy to talk to you about that. The replay is going to be available at my I do this all the time, Thursday30.com website, which I'm just putting together now, but that's where all of these webinars will be. I'll do another one next week. I'll release the topic and let you know what it's going to be once I finalize it. I've got a huge list of stuff that I'm going to be doing over the next few months, but it's going to be topics like social media sites, like video, some correct video techniques, utilizing Facebook, utilizing YouTube, utilizing live video. I'm going to be talking about Google My Business, about analytics, about content creation. So there's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to be covering over the next few months. So be sure and watch for those, and they'll all be free. So keep that in mind. If you don't have any other questions, then I appreciate you guys coming in. Appreciate you taking the time today. Let me give one more thing before I end. I want to do one other poll. If there are topics that you might want to hear me do stuff on, take a look at this list. And if there's something beyond this list something you want to hear that's maybe not on this list, then reach out to me and let me know via email. And I'll be happy to probably plug that in. But if there's, I'm trying to cover as many topics as I can and let you know, but I really want to tailor these around what your needs are. So as you look at this, keep in mind anything that you might have that can help. So as you guys are going through your daily routine now, I know there are challenges we're all facing. If any of you are utilizing or not utilizing Zoom and want to know how to do that, feel free to reach out to me. I have a full video. It's an hour-long webinar on Zoom and how to use it. It's available on the ninjamarketingdojo.com website. Free to go look at it if you want, but I'll be more than happy to set it up. I've been doing a lot of that lately for clients. I spent I spent an hour or so yesterday working with a particular realtor that does HUD homes, and she had to do to keep her certification, she had to do a webinar. I had to do a class, but she hadn't been able to do her live classes. So we sat down and got her within about an hour's time. I had her up and running on her webinar, and I helped her and I monitored it with her, and she did a good job with it. So it's a perfect venue, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this. Several of us talked about this last night on a happy hour we were on and talked about that. I think this is going to be a a thing that we are going to see more often, you know, much longer. So, was it only letting you single selection on there? You know who you are, Larry. Okay. I thought I had it set for multiple selections. Probably in a dead hurry this morning. So, okay. Well, keep those in mind. I will. There are more time. You know, I'm going to do this again, and I'll post these topics. So if you've got ideas that you would like to see, reach out to me and put it in the. You can put it in the chat box, or you can put it in the. You can email me, and like I said, I'll be more than happy to build whatever people are looking for. Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate your time. I will be doing this each week. Next week I will be doing, I'm going to shoot for 11 o'clock every Thursday. So hopefully you guys will watch for that. And we will see you guys next week.